All right, everyone, today I'm going to be showing you how to apply one slot effects to your Switch. But to start, I'm going to show you what it looks like when you put in an effects mod in your Switch without this one slot effects mod. So I'm going to use Pyramithra to demonstrate here. But one problem that does normally arise when you have these special effects mods is that you're going to notice that the skins that don't have mods, such as this one, are going to have the effects as well. So basically what I'm going to be showing here is how to make sure those effects only go to this one right here and all the other skins stay unharmed and, just as normal. Okay, and now to get started, we're going to download the one slot effects mod by BlueJay on Game Banana. But before I do start that, I do want to specify that your Switch does need to be fully modded, all the Smash mods and stuff. I do have a video down below linking to that, so make sure you finish with that before we proceed with this. But now that's good to go, we're going to download this one slot effects mod right here. And I'm going to kind of go by easy, medium, and hard in terms of how easy it is to one slot certain effects mods. So I'm going to start with Yelan Byleth. This is by Blaze240. Credit to them. I love this mod. And there's also Mist and Frost Fox by StarMax. I highly recommend downloading this mod as well. And there's going to be Blue Neon Aegis by Pigeon Lunary. And we're going to be downloading this as well. And now all these are going to be kind of a demonstration on how to exactly change the files inside to make sure you can one slot them. All right, and now that we have all that downloaded, I have my micro SD card with all my modded Switch stuff on the bottom, and I have all my new downloads up on the top. Now, what we're going to start with is we're just going to start with the one slot effects mod. You're going to notice that there's a lot of folders here. And what I highly recommend doing first is we're going to create a new folder. You can name whatever you want. I'm just going to call it one slot for my own convenience. And once that folder is made, we're going to drag in these three files right here. You don't need the info file, but it's always really helpful to reference when we are going to be editing this process in case you forget something along the way. And up next, we're going to open up this SD card folder. And this specifically is going to be what we actually throw in our SD card. We're just going to drag this atmosphere folder and the .ds_store file. And we're just going to drag it into our micro SD card right there. And bam, we actually have the one slot effects plugin now. And as I mentioned before, there are going to be three different difficulties. The easiest, the kind of difficult one, and then the super difficult one to make sure you get in one slot effects. Now I'm going to start with one that already has the mod integrated with it. And what that's going to look like is this Yelan Byleth mod. This is a good example of what a one slot effect mod looks like. Basically, you're going to see the effects folder. That's going to be normal. It's going to come with all of the mods, but you're also going to see this config.json folder. If we open that here, we're going to see that it's all already one slotted to specifically go over to the fourth slot. Now that's good. We can just drag this folder into our ultimate and mods folder. And bam, we have a one slot effects mod now. You will not see the skin on any of the other alts that you don't want it to be on, basically, which is exactly what we want. And that is the whole purpose of this mod. Now for the second one, I'll do the Mist and Frost Fox. We're going to notice when we open this, it has the effects, but it does not have the config.json file. Now what we're going to do is we're going to basically create that config.json file. And this is where this folder over here that we created earlier is going to get involved. Now to actually be able to use these files, these are Python files, we're going to just need to go into, you can go to your Microsoft Store and you're going to want to download Python 3.1. This is just basically going to make it so that your thing can run, and then you can very easily just navigate through everything and make sure you're good to go. Now that we have Python all downloaded, I'm going to be dragging out the Mist and Frost Fox outside of their initial zip files and make sure that they're just folders. Now, I'm going to do the same thing with the Neon Aegis. However, you're going to notice that this is a specifically .rar file, so you're going to need WinRAR or something like that. I'm assuming you already have it downloaded, and if you need it, you can just Google WinRAR and you can find the download for it there. And we're going to just make sure that folder's all dragged out and all on our desktop. Okay, and now that we have both those dragged out to our desktop or wherever you want for convenience, I'm going to start with the Mist and Frost Fox mod. And the big thing about this one is I want to specify I'm only going to do the Frost Fox skin, so I'm actually just going to delete the Mist one. The Mist one is the first slot. I just want the second slot one, so I'm just going to edit that as one normally would in order to make sure you only get the alt you want. Subscribe. Okay, and now that that's done, we're going to open up our one slot folder, which is going to be how we're going to make this mod a one slot effect instead of go over all the alts like it would by default without the config.json file. Now we have the Frost Fox done as we want it to be. We're going to want to one slot the effect now. And how we're going to do that is we're going to open up our one slot folder. Keep in mind, this is after downloading the Python already. We're going to right click on the EFF_slaughter_GUI. We're going to right click it. make sure you open with Python 3.10. And now if you don't see this option, you can search the Microsoft Store and make sure you just select that, but it should be there assuming you downloaded it. Once we click that, we're going to get this prompt. We're going to open the root directory for our mod. Now this directory is just going to be basically the folder that we're doing it in. So I'm going to re-navigate to the desktop. I'm going to find the Mist and Frost Fox that I've created here. We're going to select this folder, and now it's going to ask us, what is the name of the fighter? And we're going to answer with Fox. What costume slot do we want to move the effect to? Now, keep in mind the slots go from 1 to 8. 1 corresponds to 0, 0. 8 corresponds to 0, 7. So basically this is 0, 1, aka slot 2. And they do it in the notation of 0, 1 and 0, 2. So we're going to just type in 0, 1 here to make sure it matches. And just like that, we open up our Mist and Frost Fox folder. And there we go, the config's there. And the effect is going to be over C01, just like we want it. And on top of that, if we go into the effect fighter folder here, and it's going to see this is also mapped to C01 now, which is all good to go. Now that we're done with that, the Mist and Frost Fox is good to go. We need to open up our Ultimate Mods folder and drag that in. Now that the Fox mod is done, I'm going to go over how to do it with Pyra and Mythra. Now, the reason that this is more difficult is for 2 reasons. One, there are 2 characters in this file, so we're going to have to manually do both of them and then combine the config.json file. And 2, it's because their fighter names are not just Pyra and Mythra. It is E-Flame and E-Light. Now, this is going to be the case for some characters. For example, Byleth, their default name is Master instead of Byleth. So you're going to have to instead, if you were to do one slot of Byleth mod, you just do Master instead of that, just like I'm going to demonstrate here with E-Flame and E-Light. Now, E-Flame is obviously Pyra and E-Light is Mythra. So we're going to open up this effect slaughter GUI again with the Python 3.1. And we're going to navigate to our Aegis Neon folder, and we're just going to select it there. And it says, what's the name of the fighter? The name of the fighter in this case is E-Flame. And what costume slot do you want to move the effect to? Well, by default, it is 0, 0. And we're just going to keep it that way for this example, 0, 0. Now we see a config file has been formed here. And we're going to notice that is all E-Flame trail 0, 0. And we're going to also notice the effect fighter E-Flame here is also going to be renamed to 0, 0. Now we're also going to notice that E-Light is untouched. Now we're going to do the E-Light version. However, you always want to make sure that this doesn't get messed up. So just in case, I'm going to copy this on the side. I'll open up another notepad tab. We're going to just paste it on the side so we can hold on to it for later because we will need it. And now that we've done it for Pyra, we're going to want to do it for Mythra. So we're going to reopen this again, just kind of go through the same process over and over again. Better just to keep doing it to make sure that we really get into our heads and understand how this process works. But we're going to open up the same folder, name of the fighter. In this case, it's E-Light. And then we're going to move the slot also to the default right there. All right, so now that we have our config file for Mythra right here, which is going to be the one in our folder, we're going to want to navigate back to the one we did for Pyra. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to copy this code right here. We're going to make sure we really want to maintain the syntax so the code actually works and it works as needed. And we're going to put a comma here. We're going to enter. We're going to paste. I like personally just tabbing to make sure it all looks nice and matches up. And you also want to make sure that the brackets are the same. So this one's going to correspond to this one, and this one's going to correspond to this one. And you're going to notice I accidentally copied over 2 extras. We're just going to want to make sure that that all matches and we're good to go. Now what we're going to do is going to make sure you want to save, Control S, and then you'll be good. And after you save that, just keep in mind, if you really did want to change the slot, even after you've done this whole process, all you have to do is you can either re-go through the process of the Python, or you can just change all of these 0, 0s, or like whatever 0 and then whatever number it is to the number you want it to be. So say, for example, I want to move it to the second slot. I will just change all of these to 0, 1, and you want to make sure you don't miss any of them. And then on top of that, after you change all these and save it, you will eventually navigate to your effects folder here, fighter, and then you're going to go to each individual one. You're just going to want to make sure that both of these change to whatever you want. I'm going to be keeping it to the 0, 0, the same default one, just for the sake of this video, but that is how you would do it if you need to. And once that's done and fully copied over, we're just going to navigate on over to our Switch, and we're going to go through the same RCM process. I'm assuming all you guys know it by now if we're watching this video, but if you don't, once again, just watch the modding video. Just going to use Tegra, do the whole injection process, and we're going to be back in Smash. All right, now to demonstrate what the mods look like now, as you can see here, we have the Pyre on the left, which is very default, very normal, all just the default, untouched by the mod. And we also have this mod on the right here, which is fully modded now. We're going to see that the effects are a complete change, and we're all good to go. All right, and now for Fox, we see we have the default alt right here with the very normal taunt and colors and scheme and everything. And now we also have the modded version with also the special effects and the different changes and all of that. And last but not least is going to be the Bioth mod. As you can see here, we got the default one right here, the default colors and all of that. And we also have our modded one now with our flaming sword and all of our normal stuff. And that basically wraps everything up here today. If you did enjoy it and you did find it helpful, please drop a like, share it with whoever you can. Also, please subscribe. I am trying to be a little bit more active on YouTube. Might be starting to post some fun content. I've been posting some shorts and stuff. If you guys want to check that out, but I would greatly appreciate if you subscribed. And if you have any other ideas for types of videos I could make regards to modding for fun, anything like that, please just drop them in the comments below. And if there's any criticisms as well, feel free. I'm always trying to make sure that this is as helpful as possible. And if you do need any help, you can always join my Discord and ask me there in the Smash chat. So yeah, thank you. Take care.